Hello world, welcome to another episode of my weekly rant dedicated to changing our mindsets, especially the African mindsets. Today I want to talk about an example that illustrates one of the backward mindsets that I discuss on this channel. I'm going to use a story a European friend of mine who traveled to Africa told me, and by the end of this video you understand why there are certain backward mindsets that we Africans need to solve by ourselves. No one is going to do it. So, a couple years ago, I was in Uganda and I met some guy from one of the northern European countries who was in Uganda for an aid mission. So he left the city and went up country to donate scholastic materials to some school. He took books, uniforms, whiteboards, a whole bunch of scholastic material for one of the schools up there. So during the occasion, something funny happened. One of the audience members stood up, this man, a well-respected guy, I guess, in the community, stood up and made a request to my friend. He said, "Oh, you've brought all this other stuff, but next time could you help and bring also pencils so that our kids can write in the books that you've donated?" Being a nice European chap, he responded and said, "Okay, you know what? Next time we'll do likewise." As he was driving back in the city, he kept thinking, why did this man ask for something so trivial? The background is that in this village where they were, the local people, including this man who asked the question, they rear lots of cattle. So my friend told me most likely the guy who asked this question has dozens or hundreds of cows. And my friend was puzzled in that the person who asked the question, it never occurred to him that a pencil is such a small thing. He could sell one of his cows, or he can just ask people around the village to donate 2 or 3 cows, and they are able to buy the pencils if it's that important. So the story here is that this man who asked the question never understood or appreciated within his thinking that you cannot just ask, you cannot just expect a foreign person to come and solve even a minute problem like pencils. Anyway, my European friend, he told me this story after he had read my book, The Fourth Heritage, and we were having lunch, and he told me this story because he thought that the ideas that I was writing about in my book were manifested in a lot of the villages or a lot of the contacts he has had with Africans. And I told him, when I wrote that book, I wrote it from a point of deep authenticity, because I knew the demons or the limitations in my mindset that my society had inculcated in me. Yeah. As you're growing up, you are not Superman. Sometimes the society really affects you. So I wrote that book knowing the limitations on how my mentality was formed due to the society, and one of them is what he just witnessed, which is the fact that our society usually grooms us to think that the European or American or the white people are supposed to come into our society and solve all our problems. You can even see it in politicians or ministers or people who are educated. The way they talk to Europeans or Americans is from the point of view of begging. They talk as if they need to be rescued. It never recurs to these people that, you know, in life you cannot just be a beggar. If you need something, the best way is to trade or to barter for it. You know, we have so much resources in Africa. The best way to think about our needs is, we have these resources, maybe let's give it to this country and they can give us what we don't have. there you don't diminish yourself. You're not being inferior, or you don't have a begging mindset. Rather, you are solving your problem using reason. You're solving your problem using trade, which is the way to go. So anyway, as we grapple with this problem of a backward mindset, that many of us grow up without thinking, and we turn into adults, and we still expect foreigners, Europeans or whatever, to solve our problems. My judgment is that the elders or the old people in our society are kind of beyond redemption. But for us, the young people, people in the 40s, 30s, 20s, or even teens, we are the hope. We can come up, we can decide to develop our minds, we can decide to progress our thinking such that we cannot give into this begging or victimhood, inferiority complex that society historically has been teaching us or grooming into our minds. It is wrong, it is not right. As some of us are becoming parents, the best time is before kids are 7 or 10 years old. Can we do that job of making sure that they understand that they have to be responsible, they have to not beg when there is need, but rather use reason or look within themselves, what can they offer? And as long as you can offer something, then you will get what you don't have. That is fair game. Thank you for watching, and remember, changing our mindsets is the struggle.